5, around 15 verses. Step down. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakat, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we are here once again. It's nice weather out. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And we're gonna get right into it. The title being stay alert. Okay. Now I'm sure brothers and sisters have already heard, but recently, you had that situation in Brooklyn on the train where you had this individual who basically got into an altercation. He basically provoked, this other individual, and as they were, getting into a scuffle, it looked like there was a chick there. I don't know if she was with the guy that got provoked or not, but she basically looked like she either punched him or stabbed him or something. And so the aggressor, right, obviously being a Jake, more likely of the Southern Kingdom, because that's what he looked like. So he basically goes and reaches in his jacket. He's like, "You stabbed me! You stabbed me!" He reached in his jacket, grabbed a gun. And he was basically getting ready to do damage. And at that point, as a matter of fact, let's get real quick Isaiah 13, and really we're gonna go through that whole chapter, but we're gonna start with jump to right around the 13th verse or so, where it talks about they shall be as a chaste robe. This is Isaiah 13:13, and it reads, "Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place." And how's the Lord going to do that? But he brings that time of destruction. You're going to have natural disasters. You're going to have, and ultimately the missiles are going to be hitting, which are going to cause these things. Okay, the missiles are going to cause when the earth shakes and removes out of its place. What it means is that when you have, hey, Shalom, bro, just like you have earthquakes, the earth moves. Okay, because the shifting of the tectonic plates that are mainly under the surface of the earth. They as they go, they lock, with each other, and then they start to build tension. So sometimes it's random, sometimes it's caused by some event, and that event causes them to shift. It's like if I'm pushing this brother, he's pushing me, and we're just pushing, and we're like slightly amongst each other. Eventually, I'll slide past him, and he'll slide past me, and that causes that rip on the surface of the earth, where you have a quake. But so you have earthquakes, all right, which can be caused by missiles hitting. You got something?
Hey, yeah, that's a powerful thing you just said, because guess what? Yahushua was even saying that in Matthew the 24th chapter, that there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, right? So even going into that word earthquake, I believe it's the Greek word seismos, which is where you get the word seismology from,
Yep.
which is the study of the shifting or the shaking of the earth. So when you have all these vibrations in the earth, a couple of years ago, you had a lot of people complaining about hearing, feeling shakings in the earth and so on and so forth. But ultimately, the ultimate shaking is going to be when the missiles hit. But right now we're getting those shakings right now, and that's all going into that.
That's it. It's a beautiful point. So I'm telling you, man, nice weather just puts you in a good mood, especially when you're in the spirit, it's just good stuff. But and then it also brings out the demons, the weather gets a little too hot, demons come out, especially the black demon. But yeah, let's read that. In the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger, and it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. And that's the main part right there, is a chased roe. Now, when you look at a roe is like a deer, like of that family, and they're very fast. They're very, very fast. Because one thing people always neglect the fact that when you watch a cheetah and a cheetah is chasing its prey, that prey must be just as fast, if not faster, than a cheetah. Because this nigga, he's really. Sometimes they miss their prey, and they be panting and all tired and shit. Everybody looks at the cheetah, but nobody looks at the freaking road that just escaped with his life. You're like, damn, this nigga been fast as hell because he got this cheetah, out of breath. I saw this video in back in high school, and it was I think it was a wolf that was chasing a lamb. Man, I tell you, that lamb took that wolf to places he's never seen before. He took him up the hill, down the hill, to the right, on the right. That wolf. He got to a point where the wolf just stopped and he started looking around and he's like, fuck this shit. Because that lamb was gone. And I'll be like, the wolf would trip the lamb, because that's typically what those typically what like big cats or dogs do is they'll try to get close enough to trip their prey, you know, and then once the prey falls down, they pounce on them. So that's what the wolf tried to do. And the wolf tripped the lamb falls, gets back up. This dude is damn near won like 3 Olympic medals, you know, because he was going in. But anyway, as it says, it's a chase roll, right? So that's and the reason I brought that out is because when you watch that video, the second the dude took out the gun, that's exactly what them people were like. They were like a row that was in and heard a lion pop up, and they were all out to the other side. You had this woman in there. She said, "Let me out." And the person with the camera, they were gone. I mean, they were gone. They were jumping over people. People, you know, trying to get in, using other people as human shields and shit. And then the second that train door opened, they were all out. You know, people looking left, right, they out. So that goes to show you, and that was one event in the subway, you know, in the train cart. So how much more for when like you have like all this hell actually running rampant? This is one dude with a gun, which he got popped in the head, you know, for his dumbass. And that was the judgment of the Lord, right? The dude wrestled the gun out of his hand and then popped him. Yes, sir? All right, cool. So now, what was the first one? Let's go back to Ephesians, then we come back to Isaiah. And this is why you ought to remain circumspect, because, hey, judgment could get you just like that. You know, I was reading an article today, and it was going into how there was this 1-year-old that pretty much got mauled to death by their family dog. And they said nobody would have expected that to happen. You know, and you got to always keep in mind when these situations that are so unexpected, like imagine a family dog. It's called a family dog because more than likely it's very friendly, right? And they've probably been living with it for so long. So when a situation like that happens, where out of nowhere the family dog just like attacks and then like enough to kill the child, that's judgment. And the thought that came to my mind was, I want to hear how a Christian is going to explain this. How do you explain why? Oh, better yet, that black demon who jumped on the camera talking about I'm fine as fuck. She might be able to explain it, you know. So why did God let a 1-year-old get killed by a dog? You know, and the majority of the answers they'll give you shows they lack understanding of how the Most High works. Number one, and understanding of the scriptures. Because when you understand, well, I think there's a scripture that says it's enough for you to know judgment. So in order to be a proper judge, you got to understand how judgment works. You know, and in order to do that,
the lowest question about the priest, I think it's that.
Yeah, it's enough for you. Yep, that's the one. It's enough for you to know judgment. You know, because you understand that in a situation like that, there may be certain pieces of the story you may not have, but the judge, the Most High, has it. And the Most High's verdicts are always righteous. So that means that there's evidence that you might be missing. You know, but judgment is judgment. And that's why, as we're reading in Ephesians, you got to remain circumspect. In these days, in these times, the scriptures tell you perilous times shall come. We're actually living in the most dangerous times, you know, ever. Okay? Go ahead.
My friend referred to this place as modern day Gotham.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. It is modern day Gotham.
This is Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
Right. So walking circumspectly. So that means you're constantly paying attention to your surroundings. You know, it doesn't mean every 2 seconds, you know, you're just like turning around and shit. You're just gonna look like a weirdo. Okay, because circumspect meaning what? Circum, where you get the word circle from, which is round, and spect, which is like to spectate or to look. Okay, so circumspect meaning you're looking all around.
Hey, that's a perfect precept to go into that. Is Ezekiel the 3rd chapter. The Lord said He's made us watchmen, all right, upon the house of Israel. So our job is really going into attaching those 3 precepts in Ephesians, Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, and 2nd Ezra the 9th chapter. Measuring the times diligently. That's all going into being circumspect, because the job of a watchman is pretty much synonymous with the job of a prophet, right? Because a watchman is able to see ahead of everybody else. The same as a prophet, a visionary, a seer, right? So we're able to see far ahead before things happen. So we're able to watch everything. We're supposed to be circumspect. That's what a watchman is for, right? You're on the watchtower watching everything, so you have to be circumspect. If you're not circumspect, the fucking thieves could come in, or the enemy could come in and take over your whole shit, right? Niggas got fall, you falling asleep, you take you doze off, like Yahushua said. You know, if the good man was to be awake, you know, the thief is not going to be able to come in and take whatever he wants. You know, bind you, take your family, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But a quick precept to back up that point. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right? So in order for you to be doing it diligently, measuring the times diligently, you have to be circumspect. You have to be looking around, watching for the prophecies, watching for the signs that leads to certain other prophecies, so you can warn the sheep. Right? You see, maybe you might look outside, you might see somebody shoot an arrow. Right? You'd be like, oh shit, there's a war going on. Yo, get ready, get the armies ready. We got to start defending the wall. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth, right? So that's our job. So it says in itself, and which it says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, how you gonna be able to see if you're not being circumspect? You're not watching around, right? It says, when you see the signs, part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right? So without being circumspect, how are you going to be able to know that these are the signs to look out for? How are you going to be able to be prepared for the signs and the things that are coming with the signs that are attached with it? Right? So that's what it means to be circumspect. You have to be on your watchtower at all times. You can't be caught off guard. You know? That's why it tells you in the book of Psalm, the 19th chapter, right? Going into the firmament declaring the glory of God, right? So we always putting things out there in the firmament, meaning through the satellite, the YouTube and so on and so forth, man. You know, constantly being on your watch, constantly sounding the alarm bells. You know, it sounds like we're being a dead horse, but guess what? That's what a watchman is supposed to be doing. You know, and as a watchman, I'm a guard, right? Like that's actually my profession. All right, I'm an actual watchman. I'm a guard. You know, and I do the overnight watch. You can't sleep. You know, you can't even doze off for 5 seconds, because guess what? That's the times where people are sleeping and they need you to be watching the most. You know, and they're not gonna hire no dumbass person to be there. No, they're gonna hire somebody who has the capabilities of actually protecting the community that he's supposed to be watching over. So that's our job as watchmen. We have a huge responsibility. So we can't fall asleep on our watch. We always got to pay attention and watch and check out for the signs that are coming and measure them diligently according to the scriptures. All right. So I just want to tap into that. You got it.
That's right. Good tap. Good tapping. Let's go.
Ephesians 5:16. And it says, redeeming the time because the days are evil.
Right, because the days are evil. So we understand that we're living in evil days. You know, we're living in times when the Lord is bringing out judgment. The scriptures say every morning that He bring His judgment to light. You know, roughly paraphrasing. And why is it most evil now? Because there's the most iniquity now. You know, everywhere you turn, there's wickedness going on, left and right, left and right. People are not regarding the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Hence, judgment needs to come forth upon the earth. There's a scripture that says, let judgment run down as waters." You know, that's the spirit of the Most High is in. All right, He's mad. He's trying to bring that judgment. Okay. Now let's go to let's jump back to Isaiah 13. Start at the top. And right now, that the judgment consequences. You know, it's all building up. It's building up to a climax, and when it hits that point, then you're going to see that ultimate judgment. Like it says in Revelation 18, her sins have reached onto heaven. You know, and at that point, it ain't nowhere else it can go. Go ahead.
Isaiah 13:1. And it reads, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see.
Now this Babylon is talking about this modern day Babylon, all right, which is America, and rightfully so, right? Of all the different names, why was it referred to as Babylon? Because the number one, one of the number one things that this place personifies is confusion. Okay, the whole concept or ideology of a man, you know, not being a man, and all of these different things that confuses people, that stems from this place. Okay, hence it's known as Babylon. So this Babylon that Isaiah saw is not talking about ancient Babylon where Iraq is right now, but it's talking about the modern day Babylon, which is America. All right, go ahead.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them.
Now, a banner, you know, when you go into the ancient world, a banner, because you had like bannermen. A banner is likened onto one that comes with the army, and his job is to hold that pole that has that flag on it, which is to symbolize the nation, that army's symbol. You know, he's letting it be known, hey, this is this is X and Y and Z. So what are we doing? Who are we representing, and what's our banner? Well, our banner is the scriptures. Okay, and so when we come out here, we always have the scriptures. We lift it on high by bringing out the words of the book, letting it be known that we're coming on the behalf of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. You know, go ahead. And the high mountain is America. Okay.
Hey,
Yep.
another word, which is synonymous with the word banner, is standard, right? So you have the word standard, which when you break that word down, it means to stand hard, right? You stand hard upon your banner. So those men who will be carrying the banner, they were most of the time they were at the forefront, because as you're approaching the battle, whoever's flag that is or whoever's banner that's showing, then they have their army right behind them. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was the Ark of the Covenant. You know, that was our banner. So you had the priests, the Levites that would carry it on their shoulder, and that was our calling. You know what I'm saying? The moment they saw that banner, oh shit, they got the Ark of the Covenant. That's their banner. Oh shit, here we go. You know what I'm saying? And so we got that same spirit now. This time is the scriptures, the understanding of the scriptures. That's why it tells you in the book of Revelation that when the two witnesses stood up, fear fell upon those that saw them, right? So because of that banner, because of the word and the spirit in which we're coming in. You know what I'm saying? There's not no Jesus Christ or none of that shit. It's Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And that's a dreadful name among the heathen because of the power that it signifies, man. You know, we're not talking about peace upon earth and everything's going to get better and all this extra shit. No, we're talking about the righteous judgment that's going before this place. Why is it righteous? Because it's a result of the wickedness that's happened over here. And people are starting to wake up to it and accept it and realize it and say, oh shit, these men are right. And that's why they're trying to silence the men of the Lord, because they want to silence anyone who will be willing to listen to what we're saying. All right, so that's the battle right there. But we got the banner, we got the standard, we got the truth. All right, but you got it.
Go ahead.
Continuing, shake their hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
And that's what we're doing right now. We're telling them off, so to speak. All right. And then this, when it says the gates of the nobles, because who are the nobles of this society? Okay. Really, you have these so-called not just congressmen, but politicians and so on and so forth. Those that are in those positions, and they're the ones who have, because when you go into like the hierarchical system, you would have the king, you know, the top of the crop. And then you would have like the nobles along with like the knights, and then coming down to like, you know, the common people and so on and so forth. And so these nobles, they discuss these things amongst themselves. They form typically like a body, you know, in certain societies. So when we're in the gates of the nobles, we're in those discussions that they're having, which that's why they come up with these things like Project Megiddo and all these other you know, gimmicks and stuff they come up with. That's it. You know, all these other gimmicks and stuff that they come up with to try and demonize us. Okay? But you best believe we're up in there. That's it. Shalom. All right, you got it.
Wow. Verse 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people.
And similar to, as it says in the book of Joel, you know, it's not talking about actual people. Okay? That's talking about those missiles as of a great people. And it's going to tell you as they come. Go ahead.
A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
And that's why he's known as the Lord of hosts. Okay, the Lord of Sabaoth, which is not the Lord of the Sabbath. All right, contrary to, go ahead.
They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation.
And ultimately, what are the weapons of his indignation? That's in Isaiah, I think it's 56 and 17 or so, or 54 and 16, one of those chapters, or one of those verses. All right, but those weapons of the Lord's indignation, what is indignation? His righteous anger. So what is the ultimate weapon that the Lord is going to use in this time to fulfill that righteous anger? It's going to be by fire. And one of the most destructive forces of fire is that contained fire that splits when those atoms split via those nuclear missiles. Right?
to destroy the whole land.
To destroy the whole land. So that's a key right there to let you know that this isn't talking about ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon was never destroyed, okay, as the whole land. This land is going to be destroyed. Okay, this modern day Babylon is going to be that whole land that's going to be wiped clean, and rightfully so. Okay?
I got a quick precept to back up that point. Going into the indignation, right? This is a book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, and verse 8. Again, like Bakwar just said, and as the prophecy says, that the Lord is the one who's mustering the host to battle, right? So all these things, like you said, is including the armies, right? The actual physical men who are getting ready for war, and also the missiles that are being worked on by these armies for war. Okay, it's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, and verse 8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey." So that's everyone, right? He is the king of known as the Lord of hosts, right? So upon his command, that's when everything starts, right? And upon his command, that's when everything stops, right? So it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me." That's the command, right? Saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, right? That I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation. So going back to the same word indignation, which is righteous anger, right? Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So that's going into what, like you said, the host going specifically into the missiles, because you're not going to see people, armies devouring with fire. Nah, it's going to be the actual missiles that's going to be doing the devouring. Okay, and everyone's going to witness it, as it's written in Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? That they were bewailing, all right, the downfall of Babylon, right, through the fire, the smoke, and so on and so forth, right? So just wanted to bring that out real fast. You got it.
Right?
How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Yeah. So when that destruction comes, ultimately, who's going to bring it? The Almighty. Yeah. I mean, our job is just to tell you about it. People act as though we're the ones who are in charge of making it happen. If we were the ones in charge of making it happen, that shit would have happened yesterday. You know. But we gotta wait. You know. So we're warning you, letting you know. Look, the Most High is going to do this. The Most High is going to do that. But because they can't take it up with the Most High, they want to take it up with us. You know. Go ahead. And the thing is, you're gonna wish that it came from us, because our tolerance for destruction is much lower than the Most High. You know, like you could really be angry at somebody, but it doesn't really take that much for you to calm down. You know, considering a man's anger to the Most High. So when the Most High brings that destruction, the thing about the Lord is, this is indignation. This is long suffering, pent up anger from generation to generation to generation. So the Most High doesn't, you know what? Let me just destroy until I'm like, you know, let me chill now. No, in his mind, he already preset how bad the destruction is going to be, and it doesn't matter if you start begging for mercy in the first 2 seconds or not. It's going to go until he has set it up to go. You know, because the Most High does everything calculated. God.
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
And this is why we say that we're going to need the Spirit of the Lord upon us, because your hands being faint and your heart melting, meaning that people are not going to have that. You know, people like to watch certain scenarios, and then it's always easy to imagine yourself doing one thing or the other. You know, damn, that happened, I would have gone here. Damn, that happens, I would have gone here. I would have done this. But in your imaginations, you're not factoring in reality. In your imagination, you're not factoring in whether you're hungry or not. What does that feel like? Whether your family member just got shot and you're traumatized or not. You're not factoring that in. You're isolating this one event and you being in there, and you're just basically going in the happy path. You know, assuming everything is fine. I would have done this. I would have done that. What if you were actually paralyzed with fear? And that's something people don't expect, which is sometimes you might even surprise yourself with how you react in a situation. You may think you're going to do one thing, and the second it happens, your body just freezes. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't even, and that might even scare you, because you're like, I didn't even think that would happen to me. But once again, it's not up to you. It's up to the Al Basham Al Shah.
I showed you that in just the past couple of days, where the guy had the shooting in the subway.
Yep.
You know, people in their mind would think, like, why didn't they just jump him and just, disarm him? But instead, what they was doing, they all ran to the back, trying to, where you had nowhere to go. You stuck in the cart. And you talk about let us out, let us out. You know, the smart thing or the wise thing to be like, you know what? Let's try to disarm this person. There's enough of us to disarm him, and then we can all be safe. Because what if the Lord had it on the spirit where he just turned around and started shooting all y'all up? And that's what a lot of people, like how you said, they look at it from being outside in, but when you're in it, you're not really mindful of what is the best solution at this point. That's why, like, even when the hour of temptation comes, the scripture says that they're gonna run down to Egypt for help, instead of not realizing what is that going to be in the long run, how is that going to affect me in the long run, which is what we are actually warning. If you do that, what's the outcome going to be?
Yeah. And the scriptures say, the wise man, a prudent man, looketh one to his going, but it also says he foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. And the thing, like what you just said, which is very important, is that it's better to plan ahead because you can think more rationally before you're actually in the situation. When you're just calm, thinking of all different situations, it's easy for you to say, oh, I didn't even think about this. Oh, what if this happened? Let me do this, that, and that. But when you're actually waiting till it comes upon you to say, now I'm going to try to react in the moment, that is like the saying goes, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Because you're going to be hit with a million things at once, and you're not even going to be able to make one decision. Something that's very ironic is that humans always think that more is better. The more options you have, the better. But actually, you can be paralyzed by having too many options. Having too many options can almost be just as like having no options at all, because you can't make a decision because it's just so much, And so, once again, when you're in that situation and all these different factors are hitting you at once, you're not going to be able to think clearly or think rationally. You're just going to start panicking. And that's why we need the Spirit of the Lord to come upon us. And that's what's going to keep you calm and stable. Oh, Isaiah 33:6. Yep. You got it.
Hey, real quick. Remember how it was a couple of days ago, out of nowhere, I was like, yo, would you be able to get to my place without electricity, without using GPS, right? And because normally we always think of, yo, when all hell breaks loose, this is what we're going to do. We're going to plan this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But then the reality, right, dictates the circumstances of reality dictates your actions, right? So you could think and plan all you want, but ultimately the scripture says that man's goings of the Lord, how can a man then understand his own way? And the scriptures explicitly tells us that when the troubles come, a lot of people are going to get caught out there. So a lot of people, those same people who are going to mostly get caught out there, are the ones who have all these extravagant plans and, oh, I got this going, I'm stocking up with food, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But who's to say that the same day that's going to happen, just like 9/11 happened, you're going to just be on your regular day. You might not even be home. You might just have dropped off your kid in school. You take your ass to work, and then boom, it just happens then and there. Where are your resources at? Where's all the stocking that you did at? Now you can't even go back home to even go be like, oh shit, I gotta go pick up my son. The telephone lines are down, the banks are down, right? The electricity is out, cars ain't moving, traffic is all jammed. Let's say you're in the train under in the subway in New York City somewhere underground, and there's lights are out. And what happened that we just talked about with niggas is shooting and all this extra shit, and you all stuck in there, it's all packed rush hour, and that happens. What are you gonna do then? You just gonna be hearing the train conductor telling you, "Hey, there's an emergency. We're gonna be here for the next couple of hours." You know what I'm saying? That's ultimate stress levels right there. People are gonna bug out. You see, so all the planning, everything is just going out the window. Again, the circumstances of reality will dictate your actions, man. And we pray Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai put us in the best case scenario. Lord willing, we all together that time, but who knows? We might just be in different places. But these are all things that we got to think about, that if we had no other way out, like the norms, the shit that we have normally that we think of when we plan in the future, what if all those things were not there? What are we going to do? That's when your faith in the Lord will show, because then he's going to direct you in the best way to go, man. So these are things most people don't even think about. But again, reality, the circumstances of reality will dictate your actions, man. All right? What you got, bro?
Hey, if you notice, most of the times when the Lord delivers, and when you read in the scriptures, it was in things that you couldn't plan for. Like Moses being and the children of Israel at the Gulf of Suez, you can't plan for that. You know what I mean? You're turning around. There's a body of water right there, and then the Egyptians are right there. You trapped by these mountains. Nobody plans to say, okay, well, when we get there, get the boats and just throw them on. And then they didn't plan for that. But that's what the Most High, he put them in that situation, because he said, really, the only plan is to call on me. And then I'm gonna show you, what the actual way is, because the unplanned plan is more secure than the planned plan. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's why the Lord said, like, there's nothing too hard for him.
Mhm.
That's why really it's all about the faith. That's why even Yahweh Shah said it. If you have faith as small as a grain of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And that is what this devil in this age has taken away from, off the earth, is people's ability to have true faith. To have actual faith, in the things unseen. And Yahweh Shai was so adamant about faith when his ministry, because ultimately from that point on, especially to the times of now, it's only going to be through faith that we are able to be able to conquer and escape these things. We're not going to be able to do it off of our own resources, off our own merit. The Lord knew that the situation in the latter days, how it was going to be, where you wasn't going to have the ability to actually defend yourself, or let's say like even like who was that what was the last group of Israelites during the 70 AD? Asada? Masada? Like,
Masada.
Jakes don't got that ability to do that now. Let's actually put up a stance against Esau.
Right.
They in their mind they thought that they back then that we could actually hold off and fight. Jake now they don't even have that type. I mean, they think that, but you don't really got no resources to do that, and we don't. More importantly, because we're the only ones that's really actually through the spirit fighting against this devil,
Right.
and we know that we don't really have anything else except the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to defend us, and that's exactly what the Lord wants. He wants us to just have that sole belief in His name, and watch Him go to work on our behalf. I think the scripture says, "Stand ye still and see the salvation of the Lord."
Got it. Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. You got that? Yeah, 11:1.
This is Romans 11:1. I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid.
6:11. Yeah. That's the one with faith. No. Oh, it's like Hebrews 11. Not Romans. Hebrews 11. It's like, but ultimately that's why the main thing to push is faith. Because number one, you have to know who you're having faith in. Okay, but then number two, you have to exercise that faith. And the beautiful thing, because if you notice, when most of us, you came into the truth, you thought that was it. The second you found out that all hell was going to break loose, that's when all hell was going to break loose. But then you realize that's not the case. But eventually, you start to realize that it's actually to your benefit that that's not the case. Because if all hell broke loose the second you came into the truth, you probably would have gave in Jacob's trouble. Because you wouldn't have enough time to build up your faith. The faith is a gift, but the Most High gives it, what I'm saying? He gives it, like the Apostle Paul said, as a gift, but you got to grow that, and you grow it by growing your knowledge, not just in reading scriptures, but in your daily experiences. Sometimes brothers do testimonies of being delivered, from calling on the name of the Lord, or from some situation that happened and you prayed and the Lord came through. These things build up your faith so that when you actually come to the time of testing, because what's going to be tested? Your faith. But if you never built up your faith, then when you're getting to the test, you're going to fail. It's not good enough to just know a test is coming. You need time to study for that test. That's why when your professor tells you, hey, the midterm is coming, they give you a heads up at least a week or two before the midterm to tell you, hey, the midterm is going to be 2 weeks from now. Start studying now. So when the Lord, woke us up, he gave us enough time, that grace period to say, look, this destruction is coming. I'm not going to tell you exactly when, but start preparing yourself now. Because when it comes, whatever you got is whatever you got. It's like when they say that the test is over, pencils down. Whatever's on that sheet is what you're getting graded on. And so if you ain't built up your faith, if you spent your time, your grace period, just chilling about like the foolish virgins, you're not getting the oil, you're just doing whatever, thinking you have time. When all hell breaks loose, you're gonna have nothing. You're gonna have watched a million videos, but if you never learned anything and you never actually took it seriously and you never grew, when it comes time to tap into that, there's gonna be nothing to tap into. Just fear.
I got precept. Colossians 1 verse 23. It says, "And if ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under the heaven, whereof I Paul am made a minister." And when you go, it's like thinking about faith as being a seed planted, right, for a tree. If you plant that seed and the tree starts to blossom, or starts to be built up, and then within the first day you pull it out, it's going to easily be able to pull it out. because it hasn't got enough roots in the ground to be established and firm. And that's the way that takes place is through the experience and through time. You know, that's why I think it's in 2 Peter where the Lord said that He's long suffering toward us all, that none of us, you know, basically, so that all can be saved, right? And that's speaking about the elect. The Lord is really being long suffering for us, for when we are part of that number, so that when that time does come, we are rooted enough to be able to endure the trials and the tribulations that are going to come. Another precept, Colossians 2 verse 7 says, rooted and built up in Him and established in faith. Okay, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. So going back to the example with the roots, and once time passes and experience, and I believe in Yahushua spoke about it in the Luke 6th chapter. He that doeth His will is like him that is established, you know, a tree, and then when the winds blow, that he'll be firmly settled, because that is what's going to be needed in order to actually have the mindset to endure the things that we're talking about. What we're speaking about right now, we never actually experienced. We never been in situations where we didn't know how, you know, where we're going to get food from, or, you know, lights out. We didn't have the ability to, you know, check our phones or use GPS to get to places. But at the end of it all, we know that, hey, He is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. He is, and I believe in Hebrews 11 chapter is going to say that. You know, you got to be a firm believer that He is. And in order to do that, you don't get that right away. To get built up, you go through experiences. You find the Lord proves that He is in the situation that you're into. See, right now, a lot of people got faith in this world and Esau's society, but it's crazy because it's like having faith in a woman that just keeps cheating on you. You're seeing this place crumble. You're seeing, oh, your phone just went out, the cyber attack. You're seeing different things are happening that shows that the society is collapsing, but yet you still got belief in it's not going to really collapse. Like a chick, you see her text DMing somebody, I'm going out late. You don't have proof she's cheating, but all the signs are there. But nah, she won't do that to me. She still loves me. She's showing you all the signs. But the Lord is showing you all the signs that America is through, but I think it's still going to bounce back. Okay.
I got that for you in 2 Peter.
Okay.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 9. It says, the Lord is not slack concerning His promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
Go. He's not slack, man. And that's where a lot of people lose faith, because they think that the Lord is, like that wicked servant, that He delayeth His coming. The Lord didn't delay His coming. He already declared the end from the beginning. The day is already set. Right. That's why Yahushua said even back then, no man knows the day, but there is a day. Right, exactly. There is a day that it's already been set. Yep. It's not like the Lord is writing the story out in real time. It's already been written. So He's not slack concerning His promise, because as each day goes by, we're only getting closer and closer to that day. But He's being long suffering for usward, because the Lord, even Yahushua said it. I wish that it was already kindled. But because I was in 2nd Esdras, right? It says he numbered the times and He measured it, right, that it can't be moved nor stirred to 7 Esdras fulfilled. And all that is happening really for usward, so that we can be established and rooted enough in the faith, so that when all hell does break loose, we'll be like that strong tree that nothing can blow us off of that solid ground.
Right. I got it. Yep, got it.
Book of Jude 1 and 20. But ye, beloved, building up yourselves on your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Spirit, keep yourselves in the love of the Most High, which the love of the Most High is to keep His commandments, looking for the mercy of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach unto eternal life.
So, hey, looking forward for the mercy of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because that's ultimately what this is all going to depend on, right? You can do all this, but if the Most High doesn't have mercy on you, then that's it. You did it all of it in vain. Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say in vain, right? Because the Most High can have you do all of this thinking you're going to gain salvation, when really He was just using you to bring others in. And then He's like, all right, you did your job. Now you can go somewhere. The Most High does that. And the scary part about it all is there's literally nothing in all of existence that you can do to sway the judgment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Everything He does is because He wants to do it. You know, it's not like the Lord picked me because he saw something in me. No, the Lord picked me because he wanted to pick me. And just as easily as that, he could have also not picked me. You know, and that's the fearful thing about the Most High, which is that unpredictability. Like, we don't know the fullness of the mind of the Lord. We only know what he wants us to know, which is in the scriptures.
Quick one. Job chapter 13, verse 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain my own ways before him. You know, and that right there, the Lord can put you in a position to where he make you think that he's not dealing with you, or he made you think that he's going to destroy you, just to see whether or not. I mean, he did it to Job, right? That was the whole story of Job, is that. But just to see whether or not you're still going to maintain your trust in him. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. The Lord can push you literally to the edge of what you think is your faith and your trust. And you still got to maintain that trust in him all the way into the end. That's why Yahweh said it, be faithful until death. That's the last, death should be the last point of your faith. Because after you die, it's over. You don't have, there's no faith to have anymore. There shouldn't be any other moment before that to where you lose faith. The last thing in your mind should be like how Stephen was. That's why you have these accounts, like how the 7 brothers and the Maccabees was. You have these accounts so that we can see aforetime how those righteous men were, and they got what? In the times that we're in now, they're honored. They were honored by their faith, as we're going to read back in Hebrews 11 chapter.
Yep. That's in the book.
Oh, I was just going to say, bro, pushed to the limit with Abraham and Isaac. That's
a beautiful point. Yep. And that's a true definition of a servant. You know, because technically, when you're a servant, your condition is not based on whether your master is your friend or your enemy. Your job is just to serve them regardless, whatever they ask you to do. You know, so I mean, how many of you or how many of us would be able to just as easily serve the Most High if he became an adversary to you? You know, to where he started plaguing you like Job. Look, man, it's one thing to say something, but it's different to where you actually have a son and you grow that attachment to your son, and then hear the Most High tell you, "I need you to sacrifice it for me." Like that's a different kind of experience. You can read it and you can imagine, but so much. But to actually be in that instance, and then the Most High tells you that for somebody that you love so much, that's when you realize, are you a true servant of the Lord or not?
You know? Hey, the Lord had Abraham actually put him up on the altar. He had him gather the fire, all that. Like it wasn't just like we walking up there. He's like, "Nah, God, stop you now." Like he had him go through the whole process of right about to have the knife out and all that. At the last minute, he stopped him. Oh, man. You like to the point where Isaac was like, "Yo, what's the sacrifice at, right? Like what you doing? What's going on?" But hey, that's what Abraham was considered a friend of the Most High, because at the end, and back in Hebrews, got to read it, but he said that way. He had faith that the Lord could resurrect him. Right. That hasn't been something. See, right now we know about resurrection. We know, we have accounts of Lazarus and Yahweh and people being resurrected. Was it Elisha or was it Elijah? Elisha's bones. So we have accounts about people being resurrected, from the dead. Abraham never had that. What happened? The young damsel. Oh yeah, the young damsel. She's not dead, but she's sleeping. So Abraham never had that. He never had no accounts of the Lord resurrecting somebody before. But he already had faith that hey, the Lord can bring this person back to life. And that's why he said we gotta have the faith of Abraham. That's what it's accounted as righteousness, man.
You got it, bro. Oh, was that it?
No, I have something else, but go after.
All right.
This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah, just like the point just gave, right? And the evidence of things not seen. So, like in Abraham's case, he hadn't seen or experienced that where the Most High has resurrected somebody to where he can just say, look, oh, the Lord can just do what he did 3 years ago for this person to me. But having faith is almost like having the proof that you don't have. And what substitutes that is the actual faith. You're like, yo, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, or like Peter, I'm gonna walk on water. But what's your proof that if you step on this water, you're not gonna sink? Well, I just believe that I won't. You know, it's not like you have some super gel under your foot that that's been scientifically tested and that's your proof. Faith is our proof.
Yeah, faith is just how was I telling him to do it? That's why he told me, like, you should tell me to come and walk on the water.
That's it.
He's like, come. I was like, all right.
That's it. Yeah. You know, and that's a very powerful thing. If you truly believe, it's a very powerful thing. But if you doubt, then it can be a very dangerous thing. Because faith can add that pseudo faith can get you in trouble. Because what if Yahweh Shah was like, hey, well, you should have had faith. Now you start drowning. Now you're gone. You know, I see you back in the spirit world. You know, okay.
And how he did reprove him. He said, "Oh, ye of little faith."
Right.
You know.
Hey, and going back to the point of growing your faith, that's why even though they were with Yahweh Shai himself, it still took them 3 years to get on the level. Like they had to actually grow. You know, they experienced that when Yahweh Shai first came to them and they saw him and they believed he was the Messiah, right? Starting with Peter. What was that? Through faith. But the Lord had to nurture that until when they were nice and fully grown, he could leave them. So now wait, they were performing miracles and all of this. You know? That
For by it the elders obtained a good report.
just like you were mentioning earlier. So by that faith, the elders obtained a good report. So we're able to look back and speak well and remember their accounts and even boost our faith because of the actions that they took through faith. You know?
Hey, those elders are back too.
Yep. Yep. Hey, even the 3 holy children. You know, that took a lot of faith to know. I mean, you knew they were going. You knew the Book of Nebuchadnezzar wasn't joking around. You know, light up the fire. I don't fuck with them. Nah, hell no. You know what I'm saying? And you know their faith was tested all along the way when the people who went to light up the furnace to open that joint got killed by the fire. Not like 2nd or 3rd degree burns. They got smoked. And Lord, he said, yeah, throw their ashes in there. So that's faith, because up until that very moment, they could have changed their minds at any point. They could have been so scared. It looked like Belshazzar and stop. Hey, now you know what, you got it. I'm gonna bow down. And some people are gonna do that.
Hey, or if they thought like, okay, I'm gonna have faith up until this point, right? It's like, all right, well, if the Lord ain't come down, I mean, he ain't gonna do it. So let me just like, dude, once again, until death. Yahweh Shai said, have to be faithful until death. And that's what they embodied. They embodied to the point of death. Like, hey, we know that if our God can save us from this, and if you don't, then we'd rather die.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, real quick, a prime example will be Daniel, right? Thinking about the trials, the tribulations, but ultimately, the one thing that pushed him through it all was faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Think about it, like even putting it in today's terms, right? Let's say the decree finally comes down that nobody could pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That was what Daniel had to go through, right? But guess what? He kept on praying to the point where he was seen. They made a law. They decreed a law specifically because of what Daniel was doing. Like, that's crazy. A whole
Hey, that's what they're doing now.
What happened?
I said that's what they're doing now, making laws specifically for what we're doing.
Exactly. So there's no new thing under the sun, right? But that's why Romans 15:4 is written, that everything written aforetime is written for our learning, that we through the patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So it's always good to go back and read what our forefathers did, because there's the same spirits coming back here again, dealing with the same exact obstacles that we got to jump over, which ultimately the only way you can do that is through faith, right? Imagine, they're telling you can't pray to your God no more. There's a decree that says you can't pray to your God no more. You can't read the Bible out loud. You can't believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You can't do that no more. Well, guess what? Faith is going to be the one that's going to push us through, right? Thinking about, damn, what if I get caught? All right, well, you got caught believing on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now that's a crime. Well, guess what? They're going to put you in prison. That's what they did with Daniel, right? He was thrown in the lions then. Now, how many men will be able to be facing something like that and still keep their faith and maintain their trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? Right, so it takes a whole nother level of faith to be able to endure something like that. A whole nation against you, right? You're like you're looked down upon by the citizens of the society, and then they throw your ass in the lions den. This time around, like it tells you in Revelation that some of us gonna be cast into prison, but we can't lose our faith, right? And when you see these devils and the kind of tactics that they use, the CIA, the FBI, when they get you and they're doing interrogations, they got something known as enhanced interrogation. It's not fun. You know what I'm saying? Like they waterboarding you, right? They twisting your arm, they beating you, breaking your nose, and they don't care. All because they want you to confess something. Sometimes the person might be innocent. and they'll beat you to a bloody pulp, to the point where you're like, some people will admit to things that they didn't even do because of all the trauma. You know what I'm saying? So imagine all that, going through all that, and having to stand on your ground, standing on that faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and knowing that He's gonna come and deliver you. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a dream years ago that it happened to me where we got arrested, and they sent us in, and I was in this like a small little room, and the army general came in. You know what I'm saying? They beat me up like OD, and I was laying there. They had tied me up and everything, and all I kept saying was, "Hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, like, I'm still here, Lord. I'm still here." And I kept hearing voices in my head saying, "Hey, how we doing? How you doing?" I said, "Lord, you know, my in the flesh, I'm beat down, like I'm in pain, I'm suffering, but the spirit is still alive, you know." And I'm like, Lord, if they're gonna take me out right now, just give me one, just let me take them all down with me. And the answer I got was, no, I'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying? That was satisfying enough for me. Hey, the Lord got my back. That's it. You know, I remember they chopped off my rod, and I saw myself bleeding, and I was laying there just bleeding. I could see myself bleeding, but I was still alive. You know, because the spirit that was within, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. You know. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, the elder Malcolm even did a video, and he said his daughter had a dream that he got arrested, and he got sent in, right? And then they were like pressing him, beating on him or whatever, and then he kept saying, "He's coming, he's coming, he's coming," and then his eyes started to glow. You know what I'm saying? That's that faith, man. That's that spiritual power. That's what's next. You know, it tells you in Isaiah 59 and 19 that when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Lord is going to lift up a standard against them, man. So we know all these things, but when the time comes, our faith is going to be tested. Like, all right, well, we have the word within us, but now it has to be enacted, right? So just like Daniel did, that faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is what carried him through to the point where the lions, scriptures tell you that the angel came and shut the lion's mouth, right? To the point where Nebuchadnezzar came in and he was looking, he's like, oh shit, Daniel's still alive. Oh my goodness. You know, your God is the one that saved you. You know what I'm saying? Your God, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is the true living God because of what Daniel had to go through. So for the Lord's name to be glorified, we're going to have to go through some shit and go through it and pass the test, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to pass it. Brothers got to believe. We're going to pass it, man. You know, we're not alone. The Lord said He's going to keep us in the hour of temptation. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, the test is going to come. But guess what? The spirit within us is going to prevail, man. You know, but I just want to add that real quick. You got it.
God, somebody got a brief, man.
Oh, yeah. This is just going to pretty much sum up everything that you know this morning. I know you're going into 11 about the 35th verse. Since Hebrew, I'm reading NLT as well. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 35, it says, women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. The NLT as well says, women received their loved ones back again from the dead, but others were tortured, refusing to turn from the Heavenly Father in order to be set free. They placed their hope in a better life after the resurrection. Basically, it's going into everything that you're saying, pretty much until death, like your house said.
And ultimately, hey, like you were even bringing up about how they made a law to basically criminalize Daniel for praying. And you know, if they were to do that today, you could, you know, depending on how you think about it, it really should make you go harder, because when you think in your mind of all the different religions out there, they made a law for us to not pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So clearly we must be doing something right, because why are you so concerned about that? You know, of all the different, I mean, there's some people that believe in things that are just so ridiculous, downright stupid, but they came and targeted this, you know, which is more motivation. Like, all right, so that means clearly we're doing something right. And this is the same thing they did to the apostles back then, right? They told them, put them in jail. They said, don't teach in that name, specifically in that name.
I was just going to say, really, when you think about it, what they're doing really is like boosting the faith. Because, like, imagine this: if you leave a person alone, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, they're not attacking me, they're not doing nothing." Is this really the truth? Like, what's going on? I thought Scripture said it was supposed to do this. If they left us alone, you might start thinking, "Is this really the truth?" Or anything. But when they attack you and they do things, like, "Oh, this must really be the truth," because you see the things being fulfilled. So it's like with the I'll give the example, like the FBI thing. What was that, like 2-3 years ago? What's that? Okay. Yeah, that really boosted my faith. I was like, oh, Scripture spoke about that type of stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. But if they didn't come, I would have been like, yeah, okay.
2 Maccabees 6, verse 6. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So, hey, this is in multiple different kingdoms, this was a common theme. So if this is Babylon the Great, right, the rebirth of the Greco-Roman, culture empire, and they did that back in ancient Babylon, right, with Daniel, and they did it during the Grecian Empire. You don't think that they're going to definitely do it now during this time? He's definitely going to do it. And we see the makings. We see that in the makings right now. That's why going back to the prudent man foreseeth the evil, and we are able to know that there is no way for, once again, we're not. This is not a carnal battle. This is not a battle of flesh and blood. We're fighting against principalities and against wickedness in high places. So our weapons of war is not trying to. We're not about to go to Congress or go petition in front protesting, say we got our freedom of speech and we want to the freedom of liberty on the internet. Nah, everything they're doing is prophesied. You're only fulfilling prophecy. I was actually researching the definition of self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's what the Lord actually created life. The Lord created life as self-fulfilling prophecy. Everybody is fulfilling prophecies based off of what the Lord already had established, and everything they're doing is just reaffirming that prophecy. Even if they're trying to not do it, it's just reaffirming the prophecies that they are going to do. And the Lord gave us the mind and the gifts of actually knowing it, and that is the beautiful part of it. Because these devils, as it says in Obadiah, their heart has deceived them. So they're thinking that they can stop this word by making all of these laws and legislations and demonizing the truth and all these different things, but they're actually just self-fulfilling prophecy of them actually stopping us. But what is that going to lead to? It's not going to lead to them having being victorious. It's only going to lead to them going down. Every road that they take is only going to lead to them going down. And every road that they take is actually the road that the Lord put them on.
Hey, that's exactly what happened. We're coming up on the Passover. That's exactly what happened with ancient Egypt, right? The Lord told Moses that he's going to harden Pharaoh's heart. And when you look at it, it seemed like Pharaoh had this pride, like, yo, like who's this God, this Yahweh that I should listen to what you guys got to say. You niggas got too much time on your hands. That's what y'all talking about. Y'all want to go worship y'all God. Go get some work done, And that's the same spirit now. Like it was like obstacle after obstacle. The Lord will show them, the Lord will show him, and then he'll be like, you got it. And then the Lord will harden his heart. And then he'll turn around, and it almost seemed like, yo, how the hell are we gonna get out of this, man? This asshole is out here pressing on us. He cursing us out, he's cursing our God, all these different plagues, and he's still saying, nah, fuck that. Y'all still gonna stay here and be slaves. But ultimately, what happened? The Lord crushed this shit. He crushed them. The whole empire was out of there, man. He took us out of there and he destroyed them. That's exactly what's about to happen to this modern day Egypt. It seems like they got everything going. They're bluffing. We got them in servitude. You know what I'm saying? Or they're trying to go worship their God. They're talking about Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and all that. But guess what? We got this new world order coming in. We about to see hip all of you niggas. That's what we about to do. But and guess what? The Lord is going to send Yahweh Shai down, right? This time around, the second Exodus. And he's going to destroy this whole entire system. This whole entire kingdom is about to be up in flames, man. All right? And there's no hope for, like maybe 10 years down the line. Nah, the scripture says that it's going to be burnt to a crisp. All right? It says, well, the Lord is not going to leave this place neither root nor branch, man. All right? So it's not going to be with some like, oh, just a little plague here and there. It's talking about the ultimate plague, which is the missiles, man. Completely decimating America. Completely, man. Right? So that's what we're looking forward to. Just like the time of Egypt, same thing is coming around again. All right, and this time, hey, it's gonna be like never before. Like it says, the days are gonna be no longer when we're gonna say that the Lord delivered us out of the land of Egypt, but it's gonna be that the Lord delivered us out of the land of the north. Okay, and it's gonna be a memorial forever and ever, man. Praising Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and we can't wait for that. All right, but you got it, bros.
That's it. Well, you got something?
First Maccabees 2:50. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor
and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress,
Yeah, and that's the key point right there, right? Abraham was found faithful in temptation. And that's what the Lord was looking for. He was looking for that faith when Abraham faced the ultimate temptation. You know, and in his mind, he said, hey, there's none righteous but the Lord. So if he says, take him out, I'm going to take him out. And like you said, he was resolved to go all the way with it. Because if he thought, you know what, I'm going to go up until, you know, I put him on the altar, and then I'm gonna stop and pray to the Lord for some more. The Lord was saying, no, that's not. I said, sacrifice him, right? So the Most High, are you sure that's what you? Of course, he's sure that's what he meant. But we got to be like Abraham. We got to be like, who was it, Joseph? Yeah,
Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment.
Right, in the time of his distress. Now Joseph was severely distressed. You know, having been put in that position. Now we don't know what Potiphar's wife looked like. She might have been some fine-ass Ethiopian or some fine-ass Hamite-looking woman, you know, thicker than thick with 3 C's. And she's out here trying to, you know, grab, I mean, to the point where she actually grabbed him, you know, and you know he has to be, you know, nimble with it. And he got out that garment, ultra instinct and shit, you know. But it was tough. But, you know, hey, you imagine putting Jake today in that situation. She wouldn't even need to grab him, you know. He'd come up in it, master gone. You know, because it said that Joseph was good looking, you know, so he probably had a good build, you know, you know, he's decent looking. But in that situation, he said, no, I'm not going to do that because that goes against the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now imagine how stressed already he was. He was sold by his own brothers, and now he's a slave in a foreign country. And he's like, regardless of all that, I'm still not going to do this, even though I know when she frames me, like, you know when you're a child and you do something wrong, and you know the second your dad gets home, your ass is done. So like you can't enjoy anything. You could be playing, and the second that thought comes into your mind, all your mood just goes away. So imagine him waiting until Potiphar comes home, knowing damn well he's about to be framed, and he might even be put to death. But in his distress, what do? Stay faithful to the Lord.
Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood.
Oh, now, another important thing to keep in mind is the Lord doesn't always deal instantly. And that's another trying part of your faith, because Joseph kept the commandment, but he was in prison for like over 2 years. So now you thinking, Lord, I got sold, you know what I'm saying? I refrained, hey, that's it. You know, I refrained from this woman and I end up in jail for that. Now 2 years is a long time to be in jail for doing something that you were accused of doing. You know, and he's thinking, yo, who's gonna possibly plead my case? You know, like, I don't know anybody here in Egypt. My family is over there. My dad, they probably think I'm dead or something like that. Who's gonna come and say, this guy right here, you know what, bring him out of prison? He's probably gonna be there for God knows how long. But guess what? He had that faith, and you got to keep that in mind. Don't expect that, oh, the Most High says do this, so the second I do it, he got my back. Well, your test might not end right there. The Lord might say, all right, good, you're supposed to do it. Now keep doing it. You know, like the MOTV. You get fired from your job today, thinking, oh, okay, Lord, see, I got fired. Now I'm waiting for the food to come in. 2-3 days later. You got your bib on, you got the shit you wear ready, and you there 2-3 days. The man ain't here. Nothing is here. That's when Jake start. See, that's the real temptation. That's when Jake start bugging out, because they're like, yo, wait, time out. Like you were saying, Solomon, nothing is happening. You know, I put the key, I turned it, and nothing is happening. Because you expect some extravaganza, but you gotta have the mindset of, though he slay me. So you know what? I'm gonna do it and leave it in the hands of the Lord.
To answer your point, it's the ultimate example of stay down till you get up. Because Joseph was down. You know, he was separated from his brothers. And that's an example for us. You may be separated from the brotherhood. In Jacob's trouble, you might be separated. Or before then, you might be separated. And you got to still maintain that faith that the Lord is with you. That's why the Lord will do that, so you can only rely on him. Ain't no brothers around you. Ain't no brother, hey brother, I need counsel. No, the Lord might put you in a position like Joseph, because that's why it's in there, the things written aforetime before our learning. So you go into it and you see, all right, Joseph was separated, and what did he do? He stayed down. He did not go off to the right or to the left hand side. He stayed on the path of righteousness. And the Lord did what? He rewarded him. And even reunited him with his brothers. Hey, I wish I said, going back to Revelation 2 and 10, that the devil's going to say, shall cast some of you into prison. You know? And like based off of what the brother just said about Joseph, you may get cast into prison and nobody knows. Nobody knows where you at. You don't know what prison you in. You know? You don't even know what prison you in. They might, throw the little bag over you, put you in the back of the paddy wagon and take you off somewhere 10 hours. Might fly you somewhere. You can end up in fucking Guantanamo Bay. And nobody can. You try to brother like, yo, where's brother at? You go to police, the little regular police precinct. Like, nah, we don't got no record of him on it. Now you just by yourself. If you mind, you're thinking, yo, how's somebody gonna find me here? Right. Nobody gonna. But hey, just like how Yahweh Shah said that he wasn't alone when he had to go through his thing. We're not alone because Yahweh Shah said that he's with us always, even to the end of the earth. So that's the end of the world. So that's the mindset we have to have, man. It
was happy is that even if it'd be better that Yahweh Shai is with you than anybody physical. Right. So even if you're physically alone, the most important one who actually can deliver you, because what if brothers didn't know where you were? What we gonna do? You were gonna talk about Bay. How the hell are we gonna get you out?
What's not the hangover? Aaron Kumar cockney sandwich. There ain't none of that.
They gonna have to bill like $500. Like, come get this out.
We got a breakout plan.
Yeah. Brothers coming in, come from underwater for time and shit. Don't expect that because we're not doing that. We're gonna pray, but ultimately we're gonna pray to the same one that's with you in there.
Right.
So, right. So you're better off with him over there. So really that's why we do the things we do, to show the Lord that, look, Lord, no matter what, we're your servants, we're your humble servants. So please remember us when these situations come upon us. And the one thing that really keeps you calm and grounded is, you know what? I didn't end up here by accident. The Lord put me here. He literally brought me here for a reason.
Hey, that's why it's so important to meditate upon these things.
Right.
To think about these things, because when you're thinking about them, if you just try to start thinking about them back, when it's actually happening, your mind, you're going to have a whole bunch of different doubts and thoughts like, oh, what if I'm wicked? What if I'm this? What if I'm that? But if you're meditating upon this now and you're doing the work, that's why it says you should escape by the faith and by your work, whereby you should be saved. You could think you're going to be saved, but if you ain't put the work in and you're in that position, like, why would the Lord save me? But if you already put the work in and then you have established your faith as well, when you're in that position, you're like, why wouldn't the Lord save me? They see how it changes. Why would the Lord save me? Why wouldn't the Lord save me? And that's what the Lord wants to see, that you got the faith of, why wouldn't you save me?
First Maccabees 2:55. Joshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land. And Caleb bare witness by giving a good report when he went to spy out the land with Joshua. So it meant to Joshua and Caleb in tandem, because they went and saw it and looked out the land. And when they came to bear witness before the congregation, they gave a good report, just like we're giving. We're telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, a good report that the Lord is going to take this place down. We're going to get victory. So you got other people out there that don't have a victorious mindset, and that's why they're not going to receive that victory.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
You got people that don't believe that they could be saved, so that prophecy is going to be fulfilled in themselves. Why do you think a lot of people want to take the Quran? It's because they don't believe that there's any other way to escape these things.
Like that saying that people who say I can't and people who say I can are both usually right. They're both right.
First Maccabees 2:57. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, which is Elijah, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananias,
that's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, damn, imagine that. Lord said you ain't even going, I mean, to be fair, Elijah was put through a lot, right? To the point where he requested the Lord take him up to earth. Said, Lord, Jezebel, she don't got all the prophets she wants me to. These people, they're all wicked and stuff. Why am I here? What more can I do? Just take me out. You know, the Lord said, no, you gonna do you gonna
After he had done that sacrifice where he made it wet the wood, and then the Lord brought the fire down, and he's like, man, surely this is gonna do it for y'all. Like if you don't believe after this, and what he slayed the prophets of Baal, did all that, and they still went back to idolatry. So it's like the same thing we deal with. You know, the Lord is showing you a miracle through us waking up and being on the same accord, but yet they still want to go back to the church. They still want to be in the house of Baal. You know, they still want to be in the house of idols. So you can get why Elijah felt that way. Elijah was discouraged at points, but look at his latter end. What was it? He was received unto glory. Reading on, it says, Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flames.
that's the three children here with the book of Daniel. Now, repeat, brother.
Well, I was going to bring up a quick point. It's upon prophets bringing out the words, and that 37.
So this will be wait a little bit though.
Oh yeah, I was saying about how it was like Isaiah the prophet as well as Ezekiel the prophet bringing out the word. This is Ezekiel 37, verse starting from 3. The Lord says unto Ezekiel, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, thou knowest. Again he said, verse 4, again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. So he was telling Ezekiel to prophesy unto the dead bones, which were the people.
Hey, that was us. The Lord showed Ezekiel us in America, and he said, well, can these dry bones live? Because before the truth, that's what we were. We were dead. We were dry bones, and it's through the prophesying, hearing of the word. That's why I said, prophesying to them, thus saith the Lord, and then that's how we came alive. Through the preaching of the gospel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that prophecy was fulfilled in us, and that is proof that the Lord's word, it does not go out void.
Right. And this time is when we got that sign, with joining the two tribes together. Because remember, it wasn't just that the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom were split. But remember, at some point, the southern kingdom were looking at them as like we're it's just us. We're the nation. And even those that are part of the southern kingdom that went to the heathenistic ways, they ain't part of us. It's just us. The circumcision. So it got to the point where they didn't even accept the rest of the tribes. And that's why in this time, that's why Yahushua had to do what he had to do. He had to send the apostle Paul to do what he got to do. And that's why now we got the whole collective truth. So now we got the complete thing, and then and now you see those bones join into themselves.
And you also have the Israelites that don't look like Israelites. The ones that look like other nations. That's all got fulfilled during this time. And it's only through faith that you can believe that you got Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, looking like other nations, looking like other people.
You got it, bro.
Hey, I was gonna say that that's even till today, right? Even as recent as just a few years ago, dark skinned Jake look at light skinned Jake as like a complete different breed. You know what I'm saying? Like you got you light skinned, like they kind of like look down on them, and you got Jakes that without knowing the truth will look at Northern Kingdom and be like, oh yeah, y'all niggas is white, y'all want to be white, so they treat them different. You know what I'm saying? So that division has always been there. It's always been there. That the Lord definitely separated the nation, divided us. That shit has always been there, man. But now He's bringing us together, known as the House of David, the Tabernacle of David, which is the elect. The elect don't look at color like the elder just said. We could see through all that. We're looking at the spirit, right? We could see somebody and be like, a non-spiritual Israelite will see another Israelite and be like, oh, this nigga, he a Chinese nigga. But we'll see the same so-called Chinese nigga and be like, no, that's an Israelite. Based on the spirit that he has, not based on the look. The look is just a thing that the Lord used as a form of confusion. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, the spirit itself is what bears witness that we are the children of the Most High, as the Apostle Paul said. Even when you look at Jake that come from the western parts of Africa or different parts of non-American lands, I should say, when they come over here, they look at the Jake over here as different. You know what I'm saying? You got a Jake that you could trace his lineage going back to Nigeria or Ghana or whatever. You come over here and look at a Jake over here that's been here 400 years or whatever the case may be, and be like, oh, y'all are Akata, right? Or y'all are, you guys are different, But it's the same people. You trace their line, they go back to the same people. I was listening to a song the other day by Big Sean, and he was saying, his Nigerian roots, and I'm like, here it is. Like you go 20, 30 years ago, Jake wasn't trying to push that type of mindset like, oh, I got Nigerian roots or I got Ghanaian roots or whatever the case may be. But now they're all assimilated. They're using music. You got all these Afrobeat musicians from Africa coming over here and making it big, and it's becoming mainstream. You know what I'm saying? They look at themselves as the same. You got a Jake from Nigeria who got an accent, but his music is on point to the point where Jake over here is making collabs with him. You know what I'm saying? So what's going on with that? If we're not the same people, how we got the same rhythm? Why we playing to the same beat and listening to the same music and jamming to the same type of culture, man? What's going on with that? You see? So all these little things people might not pay attention to, but guess what? Esau is looking at it and it's a threat to him. He's like, yo, these people are coming together, whether it be awakening to the fact that they're the same people, just dispersed, or, the culture is bringing them together. What if the truth comes in there and they start calling themselves Israelites? Now what? What are we going to do then? You see? So these Jays are on a whole nother level of threatened, stressed out. They're losing sleep. They're losing hair, and they're losing their life. The Rothschilds dying and shit. Like these niggas all losing. They're losing stress. They're losing stress. They're losing sleep and gaining stress. You know what I'm saying? Or this guy, Jonathan Greenblatt, that clown. He came out and said that they got to put a stop to TikTok. He's like, we got to have this under control. And you know the word he used? He said ASAP. That means that this is like immediate. We got to make sure we on top of this shit right now because these niggas is waking up. And they're waking up to who they are and who we are. That's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So the Lord is definitely bringing us all back, man. So all that color shit, all that BS, that shit is all dead, bro. That shit is all dead, man. I saw a video the Apostle Hall was doing today, going into somebody, I believe they're from Nigeria, and they left Nigeria so they could come over here and practice the happy lifestyle. Because over there, they'll stone your ass, right? That goes to show you that Jake is also keeping some of the customs going back to ancient Israel. It's all biblical. You see what I'm saying? But they escaped that to come over here so they could practice that bullshit. But guess what? When Jake leave these other countries and they come over here, what did they end up at? They end up in the same locations that Jake be at over here. Whether it be, if you're in New York, they'd be in the Bronx, they'd be in Brooklyn. Where Jake is at, that's where they be at. They might have a little accent, but they do the same shit. They eat the same food, they listen to the same music, they work the same areas, right? They get treated the same, right? So it's the same people, just again, they have the little differences with the language barriers and all kinds of different shit, but it's the same people. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is bringing us all back through the Spirit, starting with the elect. You got it.
I was just gonna say, research the butterfly, Ezekiel 37. I forgot what verse it is, but keep reading on. It says, "And you shall know that I am the Lord when I raise you up out of your grave." So just to let you know that this thing is not of us, like the Black Panther movement. This glory goes to the Heavenly Father that has given us His Spirit to know Him and to know the Scriptures. Just want to
Back in First Maccabees 2 and verse 60, Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man. Just who Esau, don't fear the words of a sinful man. Don't fear. It said I was that in Psalms. They shoot in secret at the perfect, with bitter words. How do they do that? By way of all of their laws and their tactics that they're trying to create to come up against us. They're trying to fear us into submission. But the Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. Fear is an actual spirit. It's an actual spirit that a lot of people in this world and here in Babylon they actually have. That's why I believe in the book of Hebrews it says that in all their life they was in bondage over him that had by the devil who had the power over death. You see, that's why a lot of our people they go down into the ways of Esau because they feared the death that Esau could bring upon them. But the Lord didn't give us that spirit. Scripture says, but they love not their lives unto the death. If we don't fear death, then really there's nothing to fear. You can't do anything else. If you can't put the fear of death in somebody, then what else you gonna do to them? You know? And that's why the resurrection is so powerful, because even if you put us to death, we know that that's not the end of it. We know that you still can't win even if you put us to death. Because the Lord, we serve the power of the living. We serve the power that can raise the dead. And that's what Yahweh Shai embodies. Being put to death wrongfully, because that's what, if brothers in the truth get put to death, it's going to be it's going to be wrongful. And the fact that Yahweh Shai's blood covers us, therefore now we are innocent. And just like how Yahweh Shai was raised, because Yahweh Shai really broke the code. The code is the wages of sin is death. He got put to death, but he didn't sin. Yahweh had to raise him and give him immortality. So that's the same position that we're in. That's why I said they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of his testimony. Yahweh Shai cleanses us, so now we're what? Pure, right? We're without guile. And if you put us to death, we're innocent. The Lord therefore got to raise us up. That's why I said the dead in Yahweh Shai shall raise first. Okay, so it says, "Fear not the words of a sinful man." Got it?
For his glory shall be dung and worms.
That destruction. Isaiah the 14th chapter. Worms shall cover thee.
Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found.
That triumphing of the wicked is but yet for a moment. Okay, so he may be lifted up, and the beautiful thing is we're actually seeing him coming down. Esau, the devil, has already reached his pinnacle. There isn't a higher point that you can reach. You've already reached the highest mountain that you can get to. And now you're doing all these other things. You're trying to bring out the MOTB and all these other things. It's really because you're afraid. You're afraid of what's to come. So now you're trying to push a totalitarian system, society, to hold on to your system. But that is only going to further your downfall and actually cement it.
Because he is returned unto his dust, and his thought is come to nothing. Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant, and shew yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
Okay. Oh yeah, I just wanted to bring this up because I just wanted to bring this up, basically going into why Yahweh Shai basically taught us not to fear death. I'm gonna read this in the GNT. This is Revelation chapter 1 and verse 18 in the GNT. It says, "I am the living one. I was dead, but now I'm alive forever, and I have authority over death and the world of the dead." And when you go into that word, actually I have to check it in the I know it's Christ, but I forgot which word it is. I think it's keys. Actually.
Yeah, I think it is. He goes to life. Life and
Yeah,
death.
it's keys. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Right. It says metaphor in the NLT. In the NT to denote power and authority of various kinds. So that's why when you read in the second chapter, why Yahshua said, "Be faithful unto death." Why? Because he has authority over life and death. If you die for him, like the elder was saying, and you're innocent, I could just raise you back up. I have that power. Remember, he said, "What? All power and authority is given unto me in heaven and in earth." So I have power that those who are underneath me. Because what? If you remember, he called Lord's one where those men, he called the elect his friends. So it's like, think about it, you do anything for your friends. So if I see my homie die, you'll get your ass back up.
Like I showed you in the book of Clarence. If you watch it, the last scene, the character who played Yahweh Shai, Clarence wasn't a believer the whole time, but right before he died, that's when he believed. And they show him dying, and they showed Yahweh Shai, they showed the man who played Yahweh Shai going into the sepulcher, and he just like put his hand over him, and he said, "Clarence, rise." And he just woke up. And then, remember, the whole entire time, Clarence didn't believe that he was the Messiah. But as soon as he rose up and he saw him, first thing, "My Lord," because at that point, You just got rose from the. You know you died,
Yep.
and you just got rose from the dead. What else you gonna call this man? Like, you definitely my Lord. And going into that word keys is interesting because what does the key do? It unlocks things, or it opens up a door to somewhere somebody can't get to. And that's what death really is, right? Death is you can't. They say Ecclesiastes 8th chapter, no man has power over the spirits or retaining in the day of death besides Yahushua. He actually has power over the spirit to bring it back. So that's why he said, I have the keys to death. I can open up the door of death and tell your spirit that come back to life.
That's crazy.
Because essentially we're in the grave. You think about it, we were locked in a box essentially. But what? With the Lord giving us that spirit, he has that authority. He took us out of there. Like I said earlier, well, like it says in Ezekiel 37, what? You shall know that I am the Lord when I raise you up out of your grave. Because essentially, you know, you can think of like even a casket kind of has like a door on it essentially. And when you open it up, what? When the person comes out, they're raised back from death. But this is a spiritual life that the Lord gave.
Revelation 11th chapter. He said that they rejoice over their dead bodies. You know, spiritual. Because first, it's the spirit that quickened it. So we gotta be. You could be alive. That's what you can be. That's why right now Esau don't really, even though he still kills Jake, but he doesn't really have to go around killing Jake no more because majority of Jake is already dead. They're spiritually they're dead. So you can. That's what I always say. Esau created niggas. The people that you see right now, Jake that you see walking around right now, they are literally products of Esau. That's why Yahweh trying to say you have your father the devil. So you don't have to go around just killing Jake anymore. He already destroyed you. The Willie Lynch letter, you know. But Yahweh Shai, he through his sacrifice and raising us, unlocking those seals of the scriptures, which is the life. We got risen up from that dead state spiritually. And if he can raise up you spiritually, the best believe the Cardinals easy. It's easier to revive. Esau got power to revive somebody's body, not power, but through the whole resuscitation, the shocking shit, right? But spiritually, that comes from the heavens, man.
Right. Yeah. What's up? No, I have that. Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt.
Hey, that's America, man. Spiritually, Sodom and Egypt. Egypt represents bondage, and Sodom, we even know the history of what was going on in that land in Sodom. And that's what's promoted here. Like the brother Aaron just said, you got God from Nigeria left his home country, right? And left his motherland, the country, all his relatives and everybody's at, to come to Babylon to practice an abominable lifestyle, a sodomy lifestyle, man. You get liberty here in this place to do that. And they actually give you benefits.
Right.
They force the people to actually learn or to accept their ways. In your job, you got to take classes and training courses on that type of thing. Like, come on. And you got to do what? You got to actually, in order to pass the class, you got to actually sympathize with it.
Yep. Answer the right
answer it the right way. And then Esau can accuse of our brother. You see, he was happy. He said that he would do this, and that with that. He said that he would be friends with those type of persons. They wicked.
Yep.
You don't want them to be your people.
Right.
Hey, real quick. That's why in Revelation the 18th chapter it talks about America being the habitation of devils and the habitation of every foul and unclean spirit, right? So that's America. Like they like you said, they teach you the opposite of life. They promote that shit. Like I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was saying, she was like, "Here it is." That she's seeing it now. That's crazy, right? Yo, and she's a woman, and she sees it. And she was saying, she was like, people in Ghana, they pushing back against the alphabet agenda, and they saying their reasoning is, look, we have our own beliefs. We're Israelites. They coming out outright just saying, they say, listen, we're the sons of Jacob, the descendants of Jacob, and and they're saying that, look, our custom and our culture teaches polygamy, but you niggas teach this alphabet lifestyle. How come we can't tell you that you got to promote and accept polygamy in your country? We can't do that. We can't send, hey, listen, you know what? In order for us to accept the LGBT no IQ people, you got to also accept polygamy. Men can have multiple women and then move on from there. But you're not going to do that. But you're going to push and promote this type of wicked ass lifestyle and push on everybody else to accept. Nah, that ain't going to happen. So whatever y'all want to do, y'all can do on your end. But we're not taking that over here. So that's a problem right there. And that's, again, the nations are waking up to Esau's bullshit. You know, the Lord it tells you now, it was Isaiah 14. It says, they shall narrowly look upon him and say, is this the man that weakeneth the nations? Right? All that deception since the Renaissance period, man, all that weirdo deception has led to this point where people are starting to accept this type of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And we're the only ones that are resisting this type of bullshit. And that's why we're a problem. You know, that's why they label us anti, Semitism, and which is a stupid ass made up word, which really should be eliminated from the English language. All right? Because guess what? It's just a smear word. It's just a word that they came up with to come up against anyone who stands up against their stupid ass agendas, man. That's all it is. All right? They label their own people anti-Semitism for anyone who comes against their agenda. How about that? Just to show you that shit doesn't mean anything. Okay? But the point is, I'm gonna get that real quick. Revelation 18 and verse 2, it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. What made America great? The Israelites made America great, man. Look at all these look at the name America has is based on Israel, man. It's based on the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, going back to slavery and even post-slavery. Look at when you look at the Olympics, you got Jake competing against Jake, but in two different countries, a Jamaican versus an American. But guess what? They all look the same. Dark-skinned people going at it against each other, and then you got one that's Team USA versus Team Jamaica. And they're going, if you watch the Olympics and they're racing, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, these are two Jakes. Why they fighting? Why they, racing against each other? But guess what? The American wins, and America's number one, this and that. Who made America great? Israelites did, man. You don't see no Edomite racing against a Jamaican. Hey, you blow him out the water. They're not gonna put themselves out there. They put Jake to do that so they could be great and take the credit for it. A lot of these inventions that people are using today that made America stand out and make all this money is because of Jake. All right? So once the truth comes out, they label you all kinds of shit. But it's all over. It says what? It says Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. That's why you're starting to see a lot more. The more America falls and becomes more of a decay and a degenerate place, the more you see this demonic, satanic shit being pushed to the forefront, man. Lately, as we've seen America go down, what you see the most being pushed? This whole LGBT shit. Okay? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago, the Oscars, you got this nigga John Cena walking on stage butt-ass naked, man, with a sign in front of his, covering his genitals. What the fuck is going on, man? Like, and nobody's calling on, they clapping and they think it's funny and it's cute. The Lord's going to bring heavy judgment upon this place, man. And then you turn around, this nigga is dressed in a skirt and he got a ponytail like a little schoolgirl, man. What the fuck is going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? The Lord is exposing all this shit, and it's all being these Jays. They're the ones who's behind all this shit because they own all this stuff. The Hollywood, the movies, they own all that, and it's written in their Talmud. They actually believe these things, man. This whole pedophilia rings and all this, little children being molested and all this. These niggas is behind all that, man. All right. So it says, and it's become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So the hold of every foul spirit. That's why America pushes all this foul bullshit, man. It's all it comes from this place, man. And that's why the Lord is going to destroy this place, man. We can't wait for that. All right. Every single day. It's like I feel bad for the elder, man. You got a son who's in the school system. You gotta imagine the shit he gotta deal with. Coming home and it's like the kid want to celebrate Christmas, and you're like, no, we don't do that shit over here. And you got to go through all these obstacles just to do the right thing. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got, I was watching, I read an article today, and they're saying that Meta is saying that there's 100,000 children get sexually harassed every single day. 100,000 children? Like, what's going on? And then you wonder, it's like, oh, where the parents at? Where the parents at? You know what I'm saying? You got to protect your kids, bro. You can't leave your kids to be, hey, they in school, so we just gonna leave it at that. You see the shit that they teaching these kids in school now? They're teaching them all kinds of weirdo shit. It's coming out now, and they banning parents who speak against it and so on and so forth. That's a sign, clear, telltale sign that this place is up out of here, man. A place that was built on so-called biblical principles, now they're trying to ban the Bible. That should tell you everything you need to know. Okay, so we're the bad guys for highlighting all the folly and all the bullshit that's happening over here. No, we're not the bad guys. All right, we're not the bad guys. We're highlighting the bad guys, and they turn around and tell you that we're the bad guys. All right, but the judgment that's coming upon this place, that's why it is what it is, man. Fire, destruction, okay, and this place is gonna be laid out desolate, man. All right, the troubles, the pain, the suffering, everything that's coming is because you niggas, you people in this world accept this shit. Okay, you promote this shit, you uphold it. You know, you give consent onto it because you don't speak against it, man. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? The scriptures tell you that they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. So you playing along with it, talking about, oh, well, I mean, as long as it's not my house, you know, hey, they're gonna come get you too. You know, and that's why the Lord sent us out here to give that warning. There's not much time left, man. There's not much time left. All right, but you got it, bro.
Yeah, yeah, man, definitely. That's ultimately why the Lord is going to bring that judgment. You know, because I mean, there's no other place to go. There's nothing left. You know, like the Lord has literally left them to their devices. You figure out a solution. Everybody came up with a solution. Everything just made things worse and worse and worse. So now it's time for a reset. You know, and this time the Lord is going to have it to where He's going to reset it, and then He's gonna keep it that way. You know, by instilling us, making us perfect, so we don't go off, and then keeping us up top. Because that way the wicked won't be in rule. And if the wicked are in the rule, then the world will be righteous.
And that's why the scripture says that their hurtful works are fulfilled. When you look at the way Esau society is ran and how his angels and these other nations have drunk of his wine, it's just hurtful works everywhere you look at. There's nowhere that's peaceful, that's just calm, like, oh, that's just a nice, safe, peaceful nation. Everything is just is corruptible, everything is violent, everything leads to death. Why do you think cancer is at an all-time high? People are just sick. Can't even walk up a flight of stairs. Like why is, I never understood it. Why is cigarettes actually legal? Like that, how is that legal? And how is that a multi-billion-dollar company? The industry. Every work that Esau has created is hurtful. You don't create anything that is actually brings forth life. And the Lord had it to where now this is the worst it's ever been. And the Lord said, their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yeah, just to add to the elder's point, it goes to show you the hypocrisy of the so-called white man, because he shut down the whole world to so-called protect people, but then they're still selling you shit that destroys your health, cigarettes. He cares so much that he shut down the whole world, but he didn't care enough to ban cigarettes, which is shown to be toxic and obviously cancerous. GMOs, all this shit, he's still pushing it, but we care so much. But we don't keep the liquor store and the bodega open and still sell you some poison. But we care about you. See, that's why this devil's gonna pay, man. That's why he's gonna have 1,000 years of the harsh captivity known to man.
And then when he opened it back up, he gave you that dragon juice that got people all twisted and sending them to the spirit world. You can't. Hey, the devil comes out to still kill and destroy. Right? That's it. You're not going to get anything else out of this devil's rulership, man. It's just a 1,000 ways to die. That's what his kingdom should have been called. The kingdom of 1,000 ways to die.
Because he ain't gonna show up, like you said. He comes not but to kill, steal, and destroy. So he ain't gonna show up unless he's coming to kill, steal, or destroy. And so when you see him show up, that's exactly what he's there for. And if he's always around, then that means that whatever the killing, destroying, and then stealing is what's going on. And yet every single time people fall for it. They see the shit he just did, like the whole shit. I mean, what's the name? Burke and Fauci themselves confessed to all this shit not being backed by anything. They just threw it out there, hoping whatever sticks to the wall sticks. The articles are out there, people have heard of it, and yet the next big thing comes and they run right to them. Through.
Hey, you got the beast. The serpent was the most subtle beast in all the field. Right? That's how they do it. It's through their subtlety. They're wise to do evil. They're really crude, or not crude, shrewd in left hand practices. The water. They're enchantments. It's literally an enchantment. But the scripture says there's no enchantment against Jacob, the God of Israel, or the Israel of God. Those are the only ones that are not really enchanted fully, completely by the devil. Because you even got some, truthers that still believe that there's a way for them or their, Edomites to actually be good people, and if they take out the wicked, the cabal, and they come up and they're still the same seed. It's only Israel that's why the Yahushai is going to come and establish the kingdom of Israel. It's only through the Israelites that the kingdom, that the world will be peaceful. All right, the scripture says that his government shall be of his increase of his government there should be no peace. There should be no end. Increase in the peace of his government there should be no end.
Yeah, and like you said, man, if they were to take out the wicked of their people, they come right back. Where did the wicked of their people generate from? The same seed. So you take them out, guess what? They're gonna get reincarnated again, and their wickedness doesn't come from their flesh; it comes from their spirit. So they're just gonna come back in another body, and they're gonna do the same thing because that's what they're inclined to do. And it makes sense why the Lord has to put that new, has to establish that new covenant and put the laws within us, because then the wicked of our people would always come back doing the same shit. The problem is what needs to be changed, and that's what's within. And once that's changed, then we're going to be all good again.
Hey, and that goes to show you how Esau's, to go back to the scriptures, shows you that his pseudo miracles, those miracles aren't really miracles, right? Because he's not actually solving the problem. When you got somebody with Alzheimer's or somebody that can't see, the problem isn't that you can put a device on their brain and manipulate their bodies to be able to, get false images or put images in your body. They're not fixing the actual brain. They're not fixing your neurons and whatever, how the science is to connect for your eyes to see. They're not fixing that. Because as soon as you take the device that they putting you out, then you're blind again. Yeah, the problem's still there. That's why it's a deception, because they're appealing to the carnal. They're appealing to I can see because of this thing. Right. But you didn't get healed.
Right.
That's what Esau doesn't do. He doesn't heal you.
That thing didn't give you something in the first place. And it's actually very interesting how, and then this goes to show you, for those that say the Most High doesn't exist, you really are very ignorant, because when you look at the way the eye works, it's very, when you see an image, it's really flipped upside down, because obviously everything we see are rays of light that come through your eyeball. And in the back of your eyeball is where you have a retina, which is it's actually like a screen. And what happens is all the different lights hit different points on your retina. Your retina flips it upside down and then translates that into images inside of your head, so you can actually see these different pictures and all of these things that are going on. So really everything you see is just literally rays of light hitting your eyes at different angles, and that's what forms the images and stuff that you see. But these devils should try and say, okay, you know what? If you can't see, your eye is not doing the job like a camera, because it can also zoom in and focus on things, right? So if your eye is not doing that job, we're going to bypass your natural retina or your natural functions within your eyeball, and we're going to just take those images artificially and then take it straight to your brain without going through here. Like you said, that is not fixing the problem. The problem is just there. You're just ignoring it and then going another route. So it doesn't fix the problem, because then when this breaks, now you got two problems on your head. You know what I mean? So he doesn't fix, he just adds on to it, and he does it incomplete, because they don't even understand fully how the human body functions. The so-called laws of physics and all of these things, it only works until it doesn't. And then they got to come up with some new theory as to how this goes and so on and so forth.
Yeah, they show you that all the time. With space or any type of science field, it was breakthrough type of knowledge, the discovery that just unravels everything that we've known about X, Y, and Z. So all that research you've been doing from that 09 is one little thing that changes everything that you know.
You got to change up all the formula, everything you've been using. You got to change it all up. So and then that's why the scriptures say man may only know that which is on the earth. That's what the angel. I think that's what the angel told Ezra. Because what they try to do is they try to get some formula. They look at how things are moving, and they try to get a math, because all of it is really math. They try to get a mathematical formula to try and explain that. True. That's it. That's it. That's what it's all about. But they're doing it without truth. They have a pseudoscience. So theirs is actually false. But they try to look at it, okay, let's use this formula, let's try it out. And then they try to go and test it out in space. What business you got? You don't even understand the fullness of the earth, and you want to check out what's going on in space, you know? And that's why it keeps on failing, because the Most High didn't think about how advanced technology is. So they can go super deep on technology. I mean, they've created holographic fans now, to where the fans starts rotating and it literally displays the hologram, like right in front of you, you know? So they have this level of technology, but they can't take that out in space, because the Most High directed that to fulfill prophecy. If you've noticed, the advancement in technology is all being geared towards one main use case, which is going to be those Internet of Bodies, Internet of Things, smart cities, and ultimately that charagma, for it to all work together. This isn't about curing cancer or cleaning the ocean. Their technology is not geared towards that. It's geared towards this, which is to what? Fulfill prophecy. So I got a quick precept. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. And it reads, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?"
The throne of iniquity. That's Esau's kingdom. You know, they speak as though they have fellowship with the Lord, right? Oh, this is a God, you know, fearing country, right? So a Christian country. Well, you go tap into what Christianity was the Esau. That's Satanism, satanic. You know, they wasn't pushing nothing. They wasn't pushing no actual laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You know, but here it is in this society. They try to portray that they are a God-fearing country, but it's completely the opposite. So it says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, that frameth mischief by law?" The actual laws that they promote is just evilness, is wickedness. You know, and when you go into that word, we read that, you know, brothers went into it, go into that word frameth, that's actually a precept. When you go into the cross reference, that precept actually connects to Revelation 13 and 16, because that is a law. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma. That's going to be a law that you can't actually buy and sell without actually having that charagma. And that is a mischievous device. It's a mischievous work that Esau is doing, but he makes it a law, and therefore you are coerced, or you're pushed into actually doing that.
Yep. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 18. And if anybody's got anything. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Oh, and that's pretty much it right there. You know, the Lord, at the end, when all is said and done, Yahushua, like you said, he's going to bring his reward with him to give every man according as his work shall be. So to some, the servants is going to be a reward unto salvation, and to those that aren't serving him, the wicked, and the wicked of our people, is going to be what? Destruction. But mainly here, to destroy them that destroy the earth. Okay? And we know, number one, who's destroying the earth today.
And when you go into that word destroy, it says morally and ethically, the minds of people. Who did that, man? You know, people's minds are so destroyed that they don't even know they're destroyed. You don't even know how bad you're destroyed, man. Ethically, morals, the morals of this place is so corroded that it has become a laughingstock of the whole world, man. Everybody sees this place, and when you're president, and I always say that's supposed to be the top. They say that's the top office in America, right? You're the president of the United States. That's the top seat of America. When he is being ridiculed and laughed at and mocked, you know, look at smelling little girls' hair and doing all, like, come on, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now? But hey, that's the greatest country on the earth. Yeah. But see, in America is actually the spearhead of the actual beast system. Wherever America goes, you know, the beast goes. Yep. And where the beast goes, basically, you know, that's where the world goes. But now the Lord is stirring up these other nations, these adversaries, to come against the beast, to fulfill the prophecy of Babylon the Great being destroyed. Because the Lord didn't create the world. You know, people always say, oh, you know, the world is always going to have problems in it. It's always that's not how it's supposed to be. What's the point of life if it's always going to be problems? Always, every day, just problems. Come on, the Lord is the God of peace, man. He is also the God of war, but what happens after war? Peace. Peace comes after war.
Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And it goes to show you that this man's government is completely out of order. And the result of it, like the elder was going into, that it would destroy them that destroy the earth. When there's a moral destruction of the people's mind and the spirit is broken, then you have other things happen as a result. People will fleece the poor. People will destroy, deforestation. They got that garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean 3 times the size of Texas. That's because of corruption and greed. This man cannot be satisfied, man. So the Lord is going to clean up your mess, man. And he's going to clean up you because you're the source of the mess.
Yeah, right. That's what wrath fits to destruction. You know, what we are preaching, the gospel is not like, oh, we're just some hateful people. No, we hate evil. There's a specific thing that we hate. Okay, it's not just come out. We just hate it. No, evil. If Esau wasn't evil, we wouldn't hate you. Right? But you are evil incarnated. That's what the Lord created you for us to see. That's not how to be. That's it. And He marked you. It made you how you look, right? And then you flipped it around and made that beautiful. But everything about you, it shows you that you're an actual you're a curse from the earth. You know, I was me and the brothers talking. Actual light eyes. Yeah. Esau can't actually look into like being a very high penetrated sun because their eyes actually hurt when they got blue eyes or green eyes or any type of eye. It actually hurts their eyes. That's why you see a lot of Edomites going with shades, rocking shades, especially when they're driving.
Right there, literally with the shades on.
Yeah, when they're driving, because of the reflecting of the sun on the glass, it actually hurts their eyes and it actually blinds them. You know, but when they made that, oh, you have blue eyes, beautiful. Now, my man, you cursed.
Put away.
Yeah. You think about it in the ancient world, the body, let's say during the time of Adam, you see somebody with blue eyes, everybody got melanin. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. Like, they even show you that in the animal kingdom. Yep. You know, a lot of animals that come out albino, they get shunned from the pack, or their type of society. They can't even reproduce. They won't. A female won't reproduce with that type of individual or creature.
Everyone's express.
Yep.
So how much the Lord hates that nation, how angry He is with that nation. Is Isaiah 54:16. It reads, "Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for the work. And I have created the right, and I have created the waster to destroy." So it was showing how the Lord created the scientists to create the most terrible weapons using their own people to destroy them in the worst way. It's going to be the worst power of any people. And it's going to be mainly them that feel the worst, not the righteous indignation.
A little more Sirach 10. Sirach 10:2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Yeah, Esau Edom. He's the one over this world right now. And that's why everything is descended into chaos. The so-called white man's rulership has demolished life as we know it. Everything is upside down. You know, the children don't even know their own gender anymore. You know, they're confused. People are destroying themselves. You know, people walking up and down. A person will come up to us smoking a cigarette, telling us how to preach the word. You know, destroying themselves. They don't even respect themselves enough to not do that. But then they want to try to tell us how to break down the Holy Bible. That's because the man that's ruling is evil. Look at Freaky Joe. That's why you got all these freaks walking around, man. You know, and the weather's getting warmer. These women are going to be scantily clad. See, they elevate whoredom and bring righteousness low in the society. And that's why the Lord just has to completely start everything fresh. Wipe down the whole plate. You know, I think it says in Jeremiah that the Lord will turn the plate upside down, dealing with Jacob. But that's what he's going to do. He's going to clean this plate off and start with something new. Sirach 10:3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Yeah, an unwise king destroyeth his people. Like the brother said, this man created a weapon that is surely for destruction. It has no positive purpose other than to destroy.
Oh, Putin just said something about that. He said that about the nuclear missiles. He said that they were created to be used. Something to that effect, you know. So the Lord is working on their minds to know, like, yo, I know even before we first got into truth, we always just say that. Like, the Lord didn't create these weapons, have Esau create these missiles to put them into a museum. No, you created them to use them. But when you use those missiles, those nuclear missiles, it's not like you just use it and the next day, tomorrow, everything's all just regular. The world as you know it, as they say, is going to be over. It's not going to be nuclear missiles fly like World War I, World War II, where during actual days it's just going to continue. Yeah, there might be destruction here and there. Everything that you know as life, as you know, is going to be changed. It's not going to be a same, just a regular day in the neighborhood after that, man. And we're only getting closer and closer and closer to that. Nuclear talk is being talked about by these kings of this world, literally weekly, getting to the point where it's daily. And eventually, it's not going to be talking. It's going to be push the goddamn button.
Like that scene from X-Men Apocalypse. The Russian dude in the submarine, he came into a trance. His eyes just turned glazed. He just like turn the key, hit the button. They got that nuclear football. It's a suitcase. I think they showed Putin walking out with it one time. Well, he was walking and somebody behind him had it. So they're letting you know they got it. They're ready to bang. Pretty much. Go. That's it. Sirach 10:4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And who is that one that's profitable? Yahweh Shai. Because when he comes to rule, everything is going to be done in order. See, even during the time of the house of David, when David was ruling, we ruled with class, with integrity, with balance. We will honor the things that we say, like the covenant with the Gibeonites. When Saul defied that, David went and avenged them, even though they were heathens. Because we're supposed to be men of our word at the end of the day. And Yahweh Shai is the greatest example of that. But when the Lord comes back, everything's going to be set back to how it is. Like when Thanos, when he snapped the fingers and then he said, I will awaken to a grateful universe. Well, that's how the Lord Yahweh Shai is coming back. So the Lord, the Heavenly Father, is going to set one over this earth that's profitable, and that's the Lord. So there ain't going to be no more alphabet gang. You know, ain't going to be no more garbage patches out in the ocean. Whales beaching themselves. You know, different sea creatures getting caught in plastic nets. They find turtles and different animals, and they open them up. They got different, like a lot of pieces of plastic inside of their body that they ingested.
They said like humans got millions of plastic, microplastic in their bodies right now.
Yeah, microplastic, and that shit gives off estrogen, which makes makes men more feminine, and it's cancerous too, and cancerous. So who is the real cancer? Esau, Edom. So you people claim to be, you people claim to care about the earth and Earth Day and all this bullshit, but the one that's the cancer on the earth, he has to be cut out. If you had a cancer in your body, wouldn't you do everything in your power to get rid of it? So the same thing the Heavenly Father is going to do to the so-called white man and his kingdom. He's going to cut it out because that's going to lead to the earth flourishing again.
Hey, real quick, I think it was earlier this week. There was an article and actually a news thing that came out that Esau is putting chemicals in the water to the point where it's turning the fishes gay now, bro. Now we've been knowing about that you know they're putting chemicals in the water and you know they're turning lions into sodomites and all this extra shit. You know what I'm saying? But now they're saying that it's to the point where it's in the regular water that people are drinking from the faucet. You know, they got all kinds of hormones and all kinds of different shit that's being flushed into the water stream for people to drink. And they said when they took the sample of the water and they took them fishes was turning gay. They were turning female, man. Their male genes was turning into female genes, man. Like who the fuck sits there to think of shit like this? You gotta be a devil to do some shit like that, man. And very soon, man, all this shit is gonna stop. Ultimately, that disrespect to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai's name is gonna be put to an end, man. Very soon. All right, because there's no way. Back in the ancient times, when the prophet was on the scene, people were scared. All right, they'll ask, "Oh, do you come in peace?" Now the prophet's on the scene, and people want to push us to the corner. You know, oh, yeah, you guys are crazy. You guys are preaching hate. How are we preaching hate, man? You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's why the fire is gonna come and the Lord's gonna deliver His elect, and we're not gonna be here to watch and see. Oh Lord, maybe have mercy. No. Fuck that. We're gonna be up there, Lord willing. We're gonna be watching this place get cooked to a crisp. All right, straight up burnt and cooked all the way to the core, man. That's what we want to see. All right, see this place completely be destroyed. All right, and the Lord, we want to see Esau's face get. Oh my God, man. Brothers, if I could bring out a quick precept, man, I'm starting to get a little pissed off here. This is the book of Psalm chapter 82. What happened?
So we'll wrap it up after your precept.
Con. I got two then. I got two. Hey, let me calm down a little bit. There's the book of Psalm chapter 82 and verse 5. It says, "They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundation of the earth are out of course." And that's what like the brother Aishio was bringing out, that because of the leadership of this earth, everything is out of course, man. Everything is backwards, upside down. Wicked as all hell. And it's like there's no hope in sight except for the prophets, except for the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? And we're the only ones who are breathing that spirit of life, breathing the spirit of hope, all right, in salvation, because without that, we all gonna be cooked out here, man. Every day is a battle to fight, just to do the right thing. All right? Every single day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, we tired of that. All right? We tired. Okay? But hey, soon the rest is coming. The rest is coming, man. All right? Just keep your faith. All right, it's the last precept, and then we could close it out. It's the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." All right, so we just brought out a whole lot of stuff upon these devils, these Edomites. All right, we keep using the word Esau, Edom, Esau, Edom. All right, but ultimately now it's to the point where people are gonna start asking, all right, so all the shit that you guys are saying is happening and has been happening that we're witnessing. You guys kept saying Esau, Edom, Esau, Edom. Who on this earth is actually embodying that? Right? They just gonna say, oh shit, it's a so-called white man. These niggas is behind all this shit. Specifically the Jews, the so-called Jays, man. All right, they're the ones who are behind all this shit. Okay? And their judgment is coming too. All right? All that bullshit they've been pushing is all about to be over very soon. Okay? Continuing, verse 4, it says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God." All right, and that goes all the way back to the time of the Renaissance. Okay, all the way from then till now. All right, tells you in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, that Esau, the devil, Satan, is going to be loosed out of his prison for a short time. All right, and he's going to go out there to deceive the nations. So everything that we've known, we got to unknow it, unlearn it, so we can get the actual truth, man. Okay, because all they've done is deceive. Everything that we know about how life is supposed to be is all lies, man. They've been lying to us. All right, they've been lying and lying and lying and lying and lying. All right, and now the truth is all coming out. Now they bugging out, talking about anti this and anti that. All right. Last one here. I'm gonna jump down to verse 8. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed," and that's what's happening now. Okay, "whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth," which is the prophets. Okay, the Most High's men, the prophets on the scene that you've seen in the highways and byways, as we're doing today. Okay, all across the world, we are preaching the same thing. That judgment is coming upon Babylon the Great, and the Lord is going to deliver His elect, starting with the he's going to deliver the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay, continuing it says, whom the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall consume with the spirit of His mouth, and shall destroy. Okay, shall destroy. That word destroy is going to be highlighted very soon. It's going to be made manifest. All right, He's going to destroy with the brightness of His coming. Okay. And so when Yahushua gets back, man, it's not going to be no playtime and we sitting around and talking and giggling and laughing, man. It's not going to be a laughing matter on that day, okay? It's going to be tears, all right? It's going to be gnashing of teeth. It's going to be wailing. There's going to be mournings. There's going to be lamentation. There's going to be fire. There's going to be death, all right? There's going to be pain, suffering. That's what's coming, okay? He's coming with that pain to execute judgment upon the wicked, man, all right? So that's the message, man. You can take it or you can leave it. That's what we got for you, all right? But you brothers got it.
Done. Hey, that's it. That's it. You know, beautiful point. Beautiful point. Brother, got anything else? Perfect. All right. Cool. So with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'chad Kodesh. Next time. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom to the elect. Shalom to you, brothers. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatham. Shalom.
Yeah, good.